So, good morning, guys. And girls, uh, kind of wanted to talk about again the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Okay, whenever I got into Alcoholics Anonymous, what they would always tell me, the old timers, was, "Hey, you might want to start reading in the doctor's opinion." That's right after the preface, right before Bill's story in the AA book. And it was interesting because the doctor's opinion opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, although I didn't really understand it at first. But I had people that were in the rooms that gave me the understanding, just like they were giving the understanding to the people before them, before they got sober. So it's about kind of giving it away, right? In order to keep it, if you know what I mean. But there's this one particular spot, and it's a paragraph in the doctor's opinion that I love so much. And it says that men and women drink essentially because they love the effects produced by alcohol. I had the word love in there. It actually says like, but I really loved it. So I kind of add the word love in there. That they love the effects produced by alcohol, that the feeling is so elusive, admitting it was injurious to them or others, they cannot differentiate the truth from the false. The only normal life was the alcoholic life, or, the drug life, now that we're in dual addictions now. So, and then it goes forth and says, it does mention that, that we love the effects produced by any type of mood altering substance. It doesn't say that specifically. It says alcohol, but it's pertaining to anything that is mood altering. And so that's the only life we know, that we're irritable, restless, and discontent unless we can experience the sense and ease and comfort that comes at once after taking a drink. Drinks that we see other people drinking with impunity. They can take a drink and put it down and do that right about face that the book talks about and walk the other way and not drink for a pretty good amount of time after that. They don't have that predisposition where they have developed a disease in their mind that, makes us act differently than other people that are just drinking and can walk away from it. So it says, like I was telling you, that, we're irritable, we're discontent, and, unless we can just find a way to put that in my body, I'm going to be restless. So unless we can experience that sense and ease, right, and comfort that comes at once by drinking a few drinks or taking a few drinks, and like I said, we kind of like, our obsession is that it's the greatest obsession, that if I could only drink successfully, and it's a delusion, because like my life has been characterized by countless vain attempts, that I can drink like a normal person, and I can't. And so because my great obsession is that I'm obsessed with that, I'm in denial. My whole life is characterized by trying to prove that point to myself, to others. Hey, I'm not an alcoholic. Watch, let me show you. And I go drink and I can't stop, and I go through a binge, and it's just repeated over and over and over. And so, after that, it in the doctor's opinion, in that one paragraph, it says that, so unless we can experience an entire psychic change, so if I have a disease and I've been thinking this way for so long, I don't need to rely on my thinking at that point when I get sober. I have to try it someone else's way. Somebody that's sober, somebody that has got sober. As they say in AA, take off your head and kick it across the street. As soon as you start thinking, because our best thinking got us exactly where we were at that point. And so that entire psychic change needs to take place. And as you read further into the book, you realize that this book is designed to develop a relationship with a higher power of your understanding, which is, God. It says God many, many times in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And you hand it over to him, and that's when the psychic change starts to take place. When I actually tell myself, I can't do this alone. I need your help. You need to show up, and admitting that I have a problem. Because if I don't admit I have a problem, then God's not going to intervene because, I don't need his help. I got this. So we live in this delusion that that we're okay, and it starts off as fun and games, and before you know it, you're stuck, and so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this morning. Wanted to keep it short. I'm new at this, but I have a lot of info, a lot of experience on this. I was an addict and an alcoholic for 25 years, drank every day, did drugs every day, and by the grace of God, I've been able to sober up, and I want to share my experience, strength, and hope with others, that it is possible, because statistically the numbers are not too good. Not too many people make it back, but if I can reach at least one soul, that's good enough for me. It's a completely different life when you start living sober. It's really, really nice, and you feel like you have purpose, and you're just not existing anymore. You're actually living, contributing, and it's a good deal. So eventually, when I get a better, I want to maybe try to get like a tripod or something like that, and I'll set it up, and I don't have a really good background yet, and where I can show my face and start speaking to y'all, directly, and stuff. So y'all have a great day. God bless y'all, and you can do it. I believe in you. Thanks much.